Aviation has long been recognized as one of the safest modes of transportation, but like any field, it is not without its risks. While accidents are rare, they remain a significant concern for the industry. Over the years, the aviation community has worked tirelessly to improve safety, with an emphasis on reducing the risks associated with potential accidents. Among the most groundbreaking developments in this effort are real-time plane crash simulations, which have transformed the way aviation professionals train and prepare for emergencies. These simulations are essential tools that offer valuable opportunities to practice and refine critical decision-making skills in life-or-death scenarios. By enabling pilots, air traffic controllers, and other aviation professionals to experience realistic flight emergencies in a controlled environment, these simulations have significantly improved the industry's ability to manage crisis situations. Real-time crash simulations are distinct from traditional flight simulators in that they replicate complex, unpredictable scenarios that involve multiple simultaneous failures. In contrast, older flight simulators focus largely on isolated emergencies, such as a single engine failure or a loss of cabin pressure. While these scenarios are valuable for teaching basic flight maneuvers and emergency procedures, they fail to account for the chaotic and high-pressure environment that can arise during a major crisis. Real-time crash simulations, on the other hand, incorporate a wide variety of potential emergencies, including mechanical failures, weather complications, and even human error. The idea is to simulate a crisis that goes beyond a simple mechanical malfunction, testing the pilot's ability to adapt to rapidly changing situations, prioritize tasks, and remain calm under extreme pressure. The technology behind real-time crash simulations is highly advanced. By using sophisticated algorithms and performance models, these systems can mimic how an aircraft behaves under various conditions, such as different speeds, altitudes, and configurations. The simulation adjusts dynamically in response to the pilot's decisions, which ensures that the scenario unfolds in a realistic and unpredictable way. For instance, if the pilot opts to engage in a specific emergency protocol, the system will react accordingly, altering the environment to reflect the consequences of that decision. This helps trainees to understand the ramifications of their actions in real time. If the situation worsens, the simulation may introduce new challenges, such as severe weather or failure of backup systems, forcing the pilot to continuously adapt. One of the greatest benefits of real-time crash simulations is their ability to model human behavior. In an actual emergency, the decisions made by pilots and crew members are often influenced by stress, fatigue, and the need for quick thinking. Human factors can significantly impact the success or failure of an emergency response. For example, a pilot might freeze in the face of overwhelming information, fail to communicate clearly with the co-pilot, or make hasty decisions that exacerbate the situation. By incorporating these factors into the simulation, trainers are able to observe how the crew responds under pressure. This allows for tailored feedback and a better understanding of how stress affects performance, enabling better preparation for real-world emergencies. These insights can also be used to refine training programs and improve the overall effectiveness of aviation safety protocols. The training process itself is designed to replicate the real-world stress and pressure that pilots will face during an actual crisis. This is achieved through a combination of technical simulation and psychological conditioning. As pilots face increasingly complex scenarios, they are forced to make split-second decisions that could determine the outcome of the emergency. In some cases, real-time crash simulations can involve multiple failures occurring simultaneously, such as an engine fire combined with a loss of altitude or system malfunction, all of which must be dealt with in a limited timeframe. Trainees learn to prioritize and assess the situation rapidly, all while maintaining control of the aircraft and communicating with their team. This type of multifaceted emergency training provides invaluable practice in making high-stakes decisions quickly and efficiently. Moreover, these simulations allow aviation professionals to test out a variety of response strategies, many of which they may never have encountered in their careers. By exposing pilots to worst-case scenarios in a virtual environment, trainers ensure that they are prepared for rare or unprecedented events. For example, a situation could involve a catastrophic engine failure at a low altitude over mountainous terrain, compounded by poor visibility. While this scenario may seem extreme, it is precisely the kind of event that has the potential to cause a crash if pilots are not well prepared. With real-time simulations, aviation professionals can practice handling emergencies like this without the risk of actual injury or loss of life. These scenarios are often unpredictable, forcing pilots to rely on their training, judgment, and teamwork to survive the crisis. This proactive approach to emergency training is a significant departure from traditional methods, which tended to focus on reactive measures and lessons learned from previous accidents. Real-time simulations allow aviation professionals to anticipate potential risks and test responses to a wide variety of emergency situations, even those that have never occurred in the past. These simulations are based on detailed data and modeled scenarios, providing an expansive range of training possibilities. By allowing crews to practice and refine their skills across a variety of situations, the aviation industry ensures that its professionals are prepared for the worst, minimizing the chances of failure when an emergency does occur.
Real-time plane crash simulations are an integral part of modern aviation training, not only for pilots but also for engineers, air traffic controllers, and other aviation personnel. The role of these simulations extends beyond just preparing pilots to handle in-flight emergencies. They provide an opportunity for testing aircraft systems, evaluating safety protocols, and refining emergency response strategies across a range of operational contexts. As technology continues to advance, these simulations are becoming more accurate, adaptable, and immersive, allowing for even more detailed and realistic training experiences. By incorporating feedback from all areas of aviation, including system performance, human factors, and environmental influences, real-time simulations offer a comprehensive approach to improving safety across the industry. One of the core aspects of real-time crash simulations is their ability to model and test aircraft systems under failure conditions. Aircraft are complex machines, and the failure of any one system can lead to cascading problems that affect the overall performance of the aircraft. Real-time simulations allow engineers to test how the aircraft's systems, including the engines, avionics, and control surfaces, respond to various types of failures. For example, a simulation might involve the loss of power from one engine, coupled with an avionics failure that disrupts the plane's navigation system. In this scenario, the simulation tests how the aircraft behaves when these failures occur simultaneously. Engineers can observe how the systems react to the loss of power and identify potential vulnerabilities in the design that could be addressed before the aircraft is put into service. This type of testing is invaluable because it allows for the identification of weaknesses in aircraft design that may not be apparent during routine operations. If a particular system consistently fails under certain conditions, the design can be revised to ensure greater reliability and safety. Furthermore, the simulation can also account for multiple failure scenarios, which are particularly challenging to replicate in real-world testing. For instance, a malfunction in one system may exacerbate the effects of a failure in another system, creating a complex crisis that requires the crew to respond to multiple challenges at once. By testing these scenarios in a simulated environment, engineers can gain a deeper understanding of how the aircraft will perform under extreme conditions, ensuring that all systems are resilient and responsive when needed. Beyond system testing, real-time crash simulations are also used to evaluate and improve emergency protocols. These protocols guide pilots and crew members in responding to a variety of emergency situations, from engine failure to cabin depressurization. However, the effectiveness of these protocols can only be truly assessed in practice. Real-time simulations allow aviation professionals to put these protocols to the test in realistic, high-pressure situations. Instructors can observe how well crews follow established procedures, how efficiently they communicate, and how they prioritize tasks under duress. This allows for real-time feedback and helps identify areas for improvement in the procedures themselves or in the way they are taught and implemented. Real-time simulations also provide valuable insights into human factors, which are critical to aviation safety. In any emergency, human behavior plays a key role in determining the outcome. Pilots and crew members must make quick decisions, often under extreme stress, while managing competing priorities. In a real emergency, The decisions made by the crew can be influenced by fatigue, confusion, and the stress of the situation. Real-time simulations replicate these pressures, allowing trainers to observe how individual crew members perform under stress. This can reveal patterns of behavior that may not be apparent in a traditional training environment, providing a deeper understanding of how human factors influence decision-making during a crisis. For example, a simulation might show that a pilot becomes disoriented or makes an incorrect decision due to the overload of information during a complex emergency. This type of feedback is invaluable because it allows the individual to recognize their weaknesses and take steps to improve. Similarly, if communication between the pilot and co-pilot breaks down, it can be addressed and improved during subsequent training sessions. By identifying these issues early on, real-time simulations help prevent the types of human errors that can lead to accidents. The ability to study human behavior in this way is one of the most important aspects of modern aviation training, as it addresses the often overlooked but critical role that psychology and human performance play in aviation safety. Furthermore, the continued development of artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning is enhancing the realism and adaptability of real-time crash simulations. AI allows these systems to analyze a pilot's behavior and decision-making in real time, adjusting the difficulty of the simulation based on the pilot's performance. This personalized training ensures that pilots are continually challenged, and it also allows for more nuanced feedback based on the individual's specific strengths and weaknesses. As AI technology improves, real-time simulations will become even more sophisticated, offering a more dynamic and tailored training experience. The future of real-time plane crash simulations holds immense promise. As these simulations become increasingly advanced, they will continue to push the boundaries of aviation training, ensuring that pilots and aviation professionals are as prepared as possible for the unexpected. The integration of VR, AR, AI, and machine learning will provide a more immersive and realistic training environment, while continued system improvements will ensure that these simulations are as effective as possible. By continuing to push the limits of technology and innovation, real-time crash simulations will remain at the forefront of efforts to improve aviation safety, helping to save lives and reduce risks for passengers and crews around the world. Real-time plane crash simulations have become a cornerstone of aviation safety and training, revolutionizing how aviation professionals, from pilots to engineers, prepare for emergencies. These advanced simulations allow for the testing of various emergency scenarios that may arise during flight, ranging from mechanical failures to human errors and environmental hazards. The ability to simulate such diverse and complex situations ensures that aviation personnel are better prepared for the unpredictable nature of real-world aviation crises. In fact, the high level of realism in these simulations means that aviation professionals can experience, react to, and learn from situations that are rare, extreme, and often life-threatening, all without the risk of actual harm. The development of real-time crash simulations has been driven by a growing recognition that traditional training methods, while effective for routine procedures and basic emergency situations, cannot fully prepare aviation professionals for the full spectrum of emergencies that might occur during a flight. For example, a routine engine failure can be easily simulated using older methods, but a more complex scenario involving multiple failures, such as the loss of both engines combined with an electrical failure and poor weather conditions, requires a more sophisticated system. Real-time crash simulations are designed to fill this gap by dynamically generating realistic crisis scenarios that adapt to the actions and decisions of the trainee. By using powerful software algorithms and real-time data, these simulations can recreate the behavior of an aircraft under distress, allowing pilots to experience how various systems fail in tandem and how such failures affect the aircraft's performance. One of the key advantages of real-time simulations is their ability to simulate a wide range of potential emergencies, each with its own unique set of challenges. These scenarios are built upon extensive data and modeling, using real-world information about aircraft systems, weather conditions, and human responses to stressful situations. The flexibility of real-time simulations allows for a nearly infinite variety of scenarios to be tested, from relatively simple engine failures to the most catastrophic crashes. For instance, pilots can practice handling an emergency landing after losing an engine, while also dealing with severe weather conditions like thunderstorms or high winds. The systems behind these simulations ensure that the crisis scenario unfolds in a dynamic and unpredictable way, much like how a real emergency would unfold during a flight. By replicating extreme situations, real-time simulations help aviation professionals understand how different factors, technical, environmental, and psychological, can influence the outcome of a crisis. A pilot who might be confident in handling a single emergency may find themselves overwhelmed when multiple challenges occur at once. Real-time crash simulations allow for a complete training experience that tests a pilot's decision-making, adaptability, and composure under pressure. For example, if a pilot is dealing with a loss of power from one engine while simultaneously encountering severe turbulence, the simulation will adjust to reflect the way the aircraft behaves in that exact situation. The pilot must then decide how to prioritize tasks, maintain control of the aircraft, and communicate effectively with the co-pilot and air traffic control. This type of complex, multifaceted scenario helps ensure that pilots are not only able to handle individual emergencies, but can also manage a combination of crises that may arise simultaneously. The ability to incorporate psychological elements into these simulations is another critical feature that sets real-time plane crash simulations apart from traditional training methods. In an emergency, human reactions can be just as important as technical skills. Stress, anxiety, and fatigue can all impair decision-making and lead to mistakes, even for highly trained professionals. Real-time simulations can replicate the psychological pressure that pilots and flight crews would experience in an emergency. This allows trainers to evaluate how individuals respond to stressful situations, helping them identify potential weaknesses in their behavior and decision-making. For example, the system might simulate a scenario where the pilot is faced with rapidly increasing altitude loss while also receiving conflicting information from the co-pilot or air traffic control. The pilot's ability to stay calm and assess the situation accurately is critical, and the simulation allows for valuable insight into how these psychological factors can influence performance. Furthermore, real-time simulations provide an opportunity to test and refine emergency protocols that are in place to guide flight crews through various crises. Aviation safety regulations and emergency procedures have been developed over many years, with input from experts in aviation medicine, engineering, and human behavior. These procedures outline the specific actions that pilots should take in the event of an emergency, but their effectiveness can only be truly tested through practice. Real-time simulations enable flight crews to follow these protocols in realistic settings, where they can be observed and evaluated by instructors. For instance, the simulation might involve a fire on board that requires a specific set of emergency procedures, such as shutting down fuel lines or initiating emergency evacuations. Instructors can monitor how well the crew follows these protocols and identify any gaps in their response. If a crew fails to execute a critical procedure or misses a step, the simulation can be adjusted to highlight those areas for improvement. This feedback loop helps improve the overall emergency response time and effectiveness of flight crews during actual emergencies. In addition to providing realistic scenarios for training, real-time simulations also have a profound impact on the design and development of aircraft. Engineers use these simulations to test how aircraft systems perform under extreme conditions, helping them identify potential flaws or areas for improvement. For example, an engineer may simulate a scenario where the aircraft's landing gear fails to deploy properly during an emergency landing. By observing how the aircraft behaves under this condition, the engineer can analyze whether the design of the landing gear or associated systems needs to be altered. Real-time simulations also allow for the testing of systems in conjunction with one another, revealing how failures in one system can impact others. These tests are invaluable in ensuring that aircraft are equipped to handle the most challenging and extreme conditions, and they contribute to the development of safer, more reliable aircraft designs. As real-time simulations become more advanced, they are increasingly incorporating technologies like virtual reality, VR, and artificial intelligence, AI, which further enhance the training experience. Virtual reality allows pilots and other aviation professionals to immerse themselves in a fully interactive and three-dimensional environment, where they can experience the full scale of the emergency scenario. VR can replicate the sensation of being in the cockpit, providing realistic visuals, sounds, and even motion to simulate the feeling of flight. AI, on the other hand, can analyze a pilot's decisions and adjust the simulation in real time, creating a more personalized,